Listen up. I am back at it again with another yearly forecast. And this year for 2024, I'm about to give you the information and what it is that you can do to navigate this year. All right, so let's get started. If you don't know me, my name is Sierra, the Spiritual Valkyrie with Queens with Lit Dreams, your spiritual clarity coach, your professional numerologist, dream interpreter, and psychic medium. So let's get started. I'm not gonna take all y'all's time, but I definitely wanted to talk about it a little bit. We are moving into a universal 8 year, 2024. 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 0 is 8. And that means we're moving into the year of abundance, manifestation, synchronicities, power dynamics, power shifting, karma, money, different financial spaces. You know, we're moving into an energy that's going to promote a lot of movement, a lot of shifting and changing and taking leadership of your own life. And on a global scale, this can look many different ways. Okay, so pay attention to a few of these aspects and we're gonna just kind of go through it. But before we go through that, if you are ready, which you are because we're moving into 2024 and this is what it is, we have the Essence of Abundance 2024 numerology calendar. And this is going to be your numerology guide to success. I literally did the hard work for you so that you don't have to do it yourself. I went through and I talk about every month. I went through every month. These are channel messages along with numerology guidance on how to attract abundance in your life during this year. And I'm so excited about it because it's giving life. I promise you, it's giving life. And a few people have already gotten it, so you want to catch yours before you are just in this energy and you don't know how to navigate it. Okay, so every month I talk about it. I talk about what the energy is, what's going to start showing up for you, and how to utilize this energy to navigate it and attract more abundance in your life. So get your calendar. It's linked down here. You can find it on my TikTok shop, my website, but it's linked there. Get your calendar. It's an amazing gift for yourself, amazing gift for your friends and family, and make sure that they are prepared for what's about to come. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about what this 8 year is going to bring. So like I said before, the 8 energy is about abundance, manifestation, career, power dynamics, power shifting, your relationship to synchronicities, your relationship to money, and just being the CEO of your life in a sense. And so while we were in 2023, we may have had a lot of stagnation and on the external world. And in your personal external world, you may have had some stagnation in certain areas, but that was because the 7 brings in a lot of introspection and going within, and a lot of spiritual awareness around your healing and shadow work and things and secrets that you may have been keeping or others may have been keeping. A lot of that has been kind of happening in the background because 7 kind of forces us to come in. That's why things such as like the shadow work journal, the inner work journal, and all of these different shadow work and healing journals and writings and all that stuff is like super popular this 2023. Now coming into 2024, this is where a lot of things start to come to the surface. And how I want to explain this is also around our ability to focus on what's starting to sprout. Okay, there's going to be a significant relationship happening from things that happened in 2020, which is the universal 4 year, and that things that are happening in 2024, which is the universal 8 year. There's a connection between the 4 year and the 8 year. The 4 year literally is all about your foundations. It's about getting your ducks in a row, planning, organizing, structures. It's about your environment. A lot of things that are going to be shifting in your environment in that sense. It's a consolidation number as well too. So it's time to, it means for us to consolidate, which happened a lot in 2020 because of the pandemic. So now with 8 being also a number of karma and things of the infinity, so like what goes around comes around, what as above so below, you know, what you put in is what you get out. You know, these are things that resonate with the 8 energy. So a lot of the choices that we made back in 2020, we're going to start seeing the results of them now. I'm just saying, We're going to start seeing the results of them now. This can mean that some of the decisions that were made during the pandemic, such as profiting off illness, profiting off of our structural cracks that were breaking, that were putting into the system, us all being in the pandemic and all of us, getting sick. Some people are passing, a lot of people suffered a lot during that time. And it's one of those things that is really hard to see how that impacted everybody in within a 1 year, 2 year span. No, now we're going to start seeing some of the results behind it. A lot of people profited from the pandemic. A lot of people were really just in a space of, let me make some money off the vaccine. Let me go ahead and build a business. Let me go ahead and do it. So there's been a lot of things that happened from us not living in the same structural foundational spaces that we were in. This is going to show up in 2024, where a lot of secrets and things that were showing up in 2023, they're going to be enhanced in a sense in 2024. So this was just kind of the beginning in 2023 of people coming out, Cassie Diddy, Taraji P. Henson, along with the stuff with Monique, along with all these different celebrities and all this different information, all this stuff starting to come up. Okay. So keep in mind that the things that we did in 2020, whether you did it on your own or if it was on a structural, foundational, global, expansive way that is coming out, whether you did it or not, whatever we did back in that time, we're going to find more information about how that's going to impact us every day. That goes to our education system, our prison systems, where we're putting our money at. We're going to become more aware of where our money is going. And I mean on a global scale, where our money is going, whose hands are in the money, who's in charge of these things. You can't just pay somebody to go away. A lot of people are going to start redefining their relationship to themselves and start seeing that they're not who they thought they were. And that's going to be coming towards the end of 2024. So by the time, I would say April, March time is when things start to get a little hectic, I guess I would say. I don't know how to explain that one. But I talked about this on the podcast that I was featured on. I was a guest on my friend Oak's podcast. Oak is from Oak Astrology. He's a professional astrologer. And we go back and forth talking about the astro aspect of the forecast and the numerology forecast aspect of the forecast. And so we talk about the numerology, the astrology, and how these two align to each other, and what we see. And some of the things that I talked about in that podcast was in April. And in April, there's just going to be a lot of people standing on business. That's why I say standing on business when it comes to things that they disagree with, things that they are not in alignment with, things that they do not like, whether you're the underdog, the underprivileged, or you're not a part of the 1%. So a lot of people are going to start speaking on that, and they're going to be holding these mirrors, these energetic mirrors, to other corporations, to other structural foundations and within our countries, within our world, and the power dynamics, the power shifting, all of that stuff is going to be spoken on, and a lot of people are going to have something to say. So pay attention. It's really going to start towards the end of March, beginning all month of April, and then it's going to move into May. By the time the summertime comes around, it's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of things happening. Okay. So I would highly recommend, during March, we start to get our bodies and our spirits ready for what's to come. But I've channeled so many different things around illusions and glitches, and seeing things for what they really are and things that we didn't recognize they were going to be. So I just really would recommend that during this time we focus on not only our relationship to things, but really start paying attention to how everybody's being impacted by our decisions and by other people's decisions. That's really what I can say in a sense, because it's our choices that were being made, they're just going to start coming up. Imagine 2020 being a burning away of a bunch of plants and a bunch of things, weeds, all of that stuff was just kind of burning away, and seeds were being planted and being watered and nurtured the past few years. And some of the secrets that kind of came up in 2023 that were being revealed, that were kind of sprouting. The seeds are sprouting. We already took root now. Okay, we did what we did. So we already took root, but now some of the stuff is starting to sprout a little bit. But the 8 years when things start to blossom. things start to blossom, things, and this can be positive, it can be hard, it can be easy, it can be whatever, but it's all about how we tend to that seed. And the pandemic allowed us to tend to a different type of seed and burn away a lot of things and put in something else. So even your business are going to be shifting. Your dynamics of your business is going to be shifting. You standing on business is going to shift. And so technology is going to shift. And so I always tell people, like, with our technology shifting and a lot of things that are happening, we need to treat it like it is a baby, like it's a seed that we are nurturing and nourishing and feeding and teaching and helping it learn. And some people don't have the best intentions for it. So we have to be mindful that everybody, this is just kind of how it's happening. We're all being impacted by all of it. So the same seed that was planted now is starting to sprout, and it may be a flower that you didn't expect it to be. It may be a plant, a vegetable, or whatever it is that you did not expect it to be. Or it could be the flower that you actually planted and you knew that this was coming out and you just was being patient with it. So to me, I use those examples of like how things can be very balanced or it can be very imbalanced or unbalanced, whatever the word is. So pay attention to this, because there's a lot of people who are trying to free themselves from a certain mentality. They're going to be calling attention to a certain mentality, but that, like I said, it will start happening around April time. But then by the end of the year, those same people, I would love to have conversations with them and see if they're standing on that same business. Or did they shift? Did they change? Did they see differently? Did they move into a higher frequency? Did they move into a different plane? And see how that's going to affect them on a personal level as well too. So yeah, it's a lot of different things, but although 8, again, like I said, money, power, career, abundance, manifestation, karma, choices, although that 8 resonates with those energies, we have to realize like this is not about only being a big CEO energy. I'm about to make a bunch of money. I'm about to invest in stock markets, because one thing about the stock and one thing about housing markets and different, again, larger corporations, larger structures and larger things that have to do with money are going to be either like shifted significantly or because that can mean we can see shift in like the stock market. It could be crashes, it could be like inflation, it can be a lot of different things that show up as, or a spike in technology or a spike in something that we didn't see coming. Okay, so although we have these things, we want to make sure that we're not going into this year thinking that it's all about money, all about movement, all about making big things happen. Now, yes, personally it can be that for you, but I would encourage everyone to really start paying attention to how do you come into a year and what your relationship is to abundance. What does that mean for you? How does it look? How does it feel? How can you make this into a reality for yourself to where you're not only focused on a materialism, you're not only focused on like, yeah, let me get my bank, like, let me do this, let me do that. What's your relationship to the money? Money is energy. Numerology is energy. It's like telling a story of energy. And so is astrology. So is all these other modalities. And so you have to build your relationship to that energy, that frequency, to attract that into your life. You have to look at it and see it from a different way, because the old way of doing things, the old world, does not exist anymore. We are moving into a whole new space, and we have to really kind of prepare ourselves, our spirit, our minds, to really get out of that slave mentality or that consumerism mentality that's the only thing that we need to worry about. You get what I'm saying? So it may not make sense now, but come back to this video and you'll see one day. So our imagery, our self-imagery, how we look at ourselves is going to completely shift, and so is the world. And a lot of the secrets that were coming up, and I talked about it in 2023, how secrets are going to come up, and what we thought was going to be what it is not what it is. So that's going to kind of travel into 2024, and that can really make a huge difference. And the difference is that with 2023, it was very much like a lot of secrets under the surface. And sorry, my dog's barking, but a lot of secrets under the surface type things. 2024, that 8 energy is going to bring things to the surface, and is going to bring things to light. So in order for us to really not get caught up in the mess. We got to be aware of this energy. By the end of the year, if we don't make the positive changes, the positive decisions that we will have opportunities to make this year, then we will be in a space that we could honestly be going to war. We could be, like, depending on who the power dynamics, who's in power, the decisions that they make, the decisions that we as a people make can really impact global peace or global anger and war, and that's where you move into the 9 energy, which is on a positive end a very humanitarian number, but then on the negative end it can be a very war number, like a number of war. So I say that because we have opportunities, infinite lessons to utilize this 2024 that's going to impact us. Because 2024 is an 8 year and it relates to the 2020 energy, I look at those two numbers or the numbers in the year and how each number influences overall aspect of ourselves. 2 being about our intuition, our sensitivities, partnerships, collaborations, about, like how we are all shifting in frequencies in the spiritual world and on a physical level. 2024 is bringing it down to the surface, and it's really about to be like in our face about our spiritual warfare, our spiritual welfare, and how our internal and external aspects of our foundations are being affected on a global scale and on a personal level as well too. So keep that in mind. And if I had any advice for this year, I would say just make sure you're not a part of the complete wave. I wouldn't take everything, I would take everything at face value unless you do your own research and you look at everything a little deeper than what you have in the past. I wouldn't just follow everything that you're seeing and follow everything that you're doing, because things shift, energy changes, energy moves. And so start doing your own due diligence and extend that compassion, extend that helping hand, and really start shifting your dynamics of wealth. And know that we don't live in a world where we don't have enough for people. That means enough compassion, enough money, enough resources, enough. We have so much that we can give to other people, and we can really start redefining who we are and what role we play in this world. Moving outside of your mindsets that have been giving you limitations, a lot of that is going to start showing up, where a lot of the limited mindsets and things that we have been utilizing in the old world that worked for us in the old world will not be working right now. And that includes mindsets as well too. So your relationships may change, but change your identity to materialism and abundance and manifestations, and know that when the things that you were trying to manifest in 2023 are still coming to 2024, but that doesn't mean that you are aligned to that same manifestation anymore. Okay, I always try to explain it. I did on the podcast. I'm like, listen, you try to manifest something at this level and you elevate it to this frequency. So now that same manifestation here is still coming, but you're not aligned to it anymore. But that doesn't mean it's not coming. And if you are aligned, that doesn't mean, or if you're not aligned, that doesn't mean don't, embrace it, take it, learn from it, move it, evolve it, and really start focusing on how to build some of this energy to really bring in abundance. If you want to know more about how to attract more abundance, definitely get the Essence of Abundance numerology calendar for 2024. It is a Black Girl Magic calendar. It's for the girlies and for everybody else at the end of the day. Either way, get yourself a calendar. And also, if you want to know more about your own personal energy, or you want to get a personal reading, I am opening up my personal readings and extending spiritual readings or numerology readings to the public. So everyone, if you want a session or you want your own personal numerology forecast for the year of 2024 on top of the calendar, okay, because this is the universal energy, the calendar is the universal energy, but if you want to get your own personal reading, you can definitely click the link here. Check my website out, www.queenswithlitdreams.com. I will be posting a lot more, and overall I am really excited for 2024. I know that there's going to be a lot of things happening, but stay tuned, and also let me know what it is that you're looking for, and let me know if you resonate with this video or this forecast. And overall, I really appreciate you being here, and staying with me the whole time. So keep in mind, things are going to start coming to the surface. We are going to be making some changes for the positive, and just be aware of what you're going to be seeing. Okay, so Happy New Year. And I am wishing every single one of you here a blessed 2024. And keep me posted on what y'all are getting and let me know what it is. All right. So again, my name's Sierra, the Spiritual Valkyrie, and I'm glad you have listened up because I have more to come. Thank you so much. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Thank you.